We know democracy is at risk.
On 8th of November this year, nearly 250 million Americans are going to decide the composition of the 118th Congress in the United States. Nearly 250 million votes will decide how the so-called leaders of the free world make policies and act on the world stage. But America's time as the shining beacon of democracy is under threat. U.S. President Joe Biden himself accepts this. Remember, in January 2020, when election deniers stormed the U.S. Capitol, calling for the execution of the then Vice President Pence and other leaders from both Republican and Democrat parties, the rioters were truly non-partisan when it came to who to blame for Donald Trump's spectacular defeat. The horrific scenes that unfolded in Washington scarred the average American's psyche. Joe Biden still warns of that threat. Talking about Donald Trump, Biden recently said that the former president refuses to accept the public's will. The American public continues to struggle, though. Post-COVID, the situation has not improved a lot. America is reeling under 40-decade high inflation, persisting above the 8% mark. The Federal Reserve continues to hike rates and now says the peak rate may be greater than earlier anticipated. On the 8th of November, this very public is going to vote for all 435 seats of the U.S. House of Representatives, 1/3 of the U.S. Senate, and 36 gubernatorial positions, including of Guam, the Northern Mariana Islands, and the American Samoa. Reports are suggesting that the confidence of the American public in their own ballot system is at an all-time low. Misinformation being spread online, continuous claims by Donald Trump of voter fraud, all of them have eroded trust and divided the American public. So how does America vote? Well, the U.S. still largely uses paper ballots to cast votes. But after the Al Gore versus George W. Bush election of the year 2000, the United States invested heavily in paperless electronic voting machines. American election officials believe that the hybrid voting systems being used by most states will boost voter confidence. The system uses paper ballots that are then tallied by electronic machines. According to the data that's available, less than 9% of the registered voters were living in jurisdictions that used electronic voting machines without paper trails. This number is expected to go down to around 5% in these midterm elections. And after his loss in the year 2020, Donald Trump is pushing for electronic machines to be scrapped completely. Many Republicans, especially Trump supporters, want elections to use only paper ballots. Election officials have called it an impossible task. As the United States now goes in for midterm elections, all eyes will be on a big surge as Trump supporters are coming out in large numbers to weaken the position of Joe Biden. Will it happen or not? That's a space that we're tracking.